Your kid used to think you hung the moon.
Like, literally looked at you the way people look at those videos of baby otters holding hands. You were their whole universe, their first Google search, the person they sprinted toward at pickup. And then something shifted. Not overnight, but close. Now they look at you like a stranger who keeps trying to sit at their lunch table. The eye rolls, the one-word answers, the way they flinch when you ask about their day like you just requested their browser history. You probably think it's hormones, or attitude, or that friend group you're not sure about. But what if I told you it's grief?
Your teen isn't being difficult. They're mourning. They're grieving the version of you they thought existed, the parent they needed you to be, and realizing you might not actually know them at all. This isn't about rebellion. It's about betrayal that neither of you meant to happen.
We're about to walk through 8 specific moments where you accidentally became the villain in your kid's origin story.
Fair warning, some of these are going to sting.
Number 1, the achievement interrogation. You ask how the test went. Seems harmless, right? Parental interest, showing you care about their education. Maybe you even wait until they seem relaxed, thinking you're being strategic about timing. You ask with that specific tone, the one that sounds casual but has the structural integrity of a police interview.
How'd the math test go? Did you finish the essay?
What'd you get on the quiz?
In your head, this is support.
You're engaged. You're involved. You want them to know their success matters to you.
Here's what they hear.
Your value to me is directly tied to your productivity. Every question lands like a performance review. Research from the University of Arizona found that adolescents whose parents consistently lead with achievement-based questions report feeling like human report cards rather than children.
They don't feel seen. They feel assessed.
So they stop sharing anything that isn't already graded. Because why risk disappointing you with the messy, unfinished, still figuring it out parts? What you've accidentally built is a relationship where connection only happens through achievement. The fix? Ask about literally anything else first. What made you laugh today? Who did you sit with at lunch? What's the dumbest thing that happened?
Let them be a whole person
before you check their GPA.
When your kid walks through the door, the first thing out of your mouth sets the tone for everything else.
Number 2, the privacy invasion.
You go through their phone.
Maybe you do it openly, maybe you wait until they're asleep.
Either way, you justify it with safety.
Predators, cyberbullying, inappropriate content. You're protecting them, right?
This is responsible parenting in a digital age.
Except here's what just happened in their brain. You don't trust them, you don't respect their inner world, and every thought they've ever shared in confidence just became evidence you're willing to collect.
MIT research on adolescent privacy found that teens whose parents routinely violate digital boundaries show significantly higher rates of deceptive behavior, because if you're going to be treated like a suspect anyway, why not act like one?
They're not hiding things because they're bad kids. They're hiding things because you taught them that privacy is something you have to defend, not something you're granted.
The deepest irony?
The more you invade, the less you actually know. They just get better at hiding. You end up with a phone that looks clean and a kid who's completely locked out.
If you want real safety, build real trust.
Tell them you won't read their messages unless they ask you to, or unless you have a specific, serious concern you'll discuss first.
Make their inner life sacred.
Yeah, it's terrifying. But the alternative is raising a teenager who's fluent in deception by 15.
Number 3, the emotional editing.
Your kid starts to tell you something vulnerable. Maybe they're upset about a friend's situation or anxious about something at school, and you, because you love them and want to fix it, immediately jump to solutions or perspective. Well, did you try talking to them? It's probably not as bad as you think. You're being too sensitive. You're trying to help them feel better, trying to shrink the problem so it feels manageable.
But what they just learned is that their feelings are wrong.
Stanford's Center on Adolescence found that parents who habitually minimize or redirect emotions raise teenagers with significantly impaired emotional literacy. They stop being able to name what they feel, because every time they tried, you essentially said, nope, feel something else instead. So they stop coming to you.
They take their big feelings to friends who have no idea what to do with them.
Or worse, they shove them down until they come out sideways in panic attacks or rage or complete shutdown. You wanted to make it better. You made it unshareable. The fix is almost offensively simple. Listen. Don't solve. Reflect back what you hear. That sounds really hard. I get why you'd feel that way. That must have hurt. Let them feel it with you instead of defending them from it. Quick favor from Sticko before we move on. If this is hitting home, could you take 1 second to tap that subscribe button? Believe it or not, over 97% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. Your kid trusts their feelings to strangers on Reddit. Maybe trust this video enough to tap a button. Number 4. The comparison catastrophe. You mention another kid. Could be a sibling, a cousin, a friend, doesn't matter. Emma's doing dual enrollment. Jack got recruited for soccer. Why can't you be more like your brother about homework? You think you're motivating them. Providing a model. Showing what's possible. Nope, you just told them they're not enough. Every comparison is a rejection in disguise. Yale research on sibling and peer comparison shows it's one of the strongest predictors of adolescent depression and anxiety. Not sometimes, consistently. Because what you're communicating is that love is conditional on performance, and someone else is currently outperforming them. Even positive comparisons wreck kids. You're so much better at math than your sister. Just taught your daughter that your affection is a competitive sport. Now imagine living in a house where you're constantly being measured against people who aren't you, by the person whose opinion matters most. That's not a home. That's a dystopian game show. Stop comparing. Period. Your kid is not a draft pick. They're not in competition for your love. If you want to motivate them, notice what they're already doing. Name their specific strengths without ranking them against anyone else. I love how determined you are. You're so creative with problem solving. See them as themselves, or watch them spend their whole life trying to be someone else. Number 5. The public humiliation. You tell a story about them. Maybe it's funny. Maybe it happened when they were little. Maybe you think it's harmless because it's family or close friends. You're laughing. Everyone's laughing. Your kid is sitting there with a smile that doesn't reach their eyes, dying inside. You just taught them that their dignity is your entertainment, that their embarrassing moments are your social currency, that they can't trust you not to weaponize their vulnerability for a laugh. Research from Northwestern on parental oversharing found that adolescents whose parents regularly share stories without consent report feeling objectified and used for content. They stop telling you things because they know it'll become dinner party material. The wildest part? You probably have no idea you did anything wrong. It was just a cute story, except it wasn't yours to tell. Their life isn't your anecdote collection. If you want to share something about them, ask first. Is it okay if I tell them about the thing that happened at camp? Give them veto power. Respect when they say no. Prove that their trust is more important than your punchline. Otherwise, you're raising a kid who's learned that intimacy with you comes with a cost, that being known means being exposed, and that the safest thing to do is give you nothing worth repeating. Number 6, the conditional affection. You're proud of them when they succeed. You light up when they bring home good grades, win the game, get the part. And when they fail, you're disappointed. Not mean, just visibly deflated. Maybe quieter. Maybe you sigh. Maybe you say, "It's okay," in a tone that communicates it is absolutely not okay. They just learned that your love has terms and conditions. Harvard's longitudinal study on parental approval found that children who experience affection as performance-based develop anxiety disorders at nearly twice the rate of peers with unconditional support, because they're walking on a tightrope where your warmth is the reward for not falling. So they become perfectionists, people-pleasers, chronic overachievers who are never enough because enough keeps moving. Or they give up entirely, because if they're going to disappoint you anyway, why try? The cruelest part is you probably do love them unconditionally. You just don't show it that way. Your face gives you away. Your energy shifts. They feel the difference between "I love you" after a win versus after a loss. Fix it by noticing them when they're not performing. Hug them on the bad days. Be warmer after failure than after success. Show them that your affection isn't a vending machine where they insert achievements and receive love. Because the kid who only feels loved when they're winning grows into an adult who can't stop performing, even when the audience is gone.
Number 7, the disconnected lecture.
They try to show you something they care about, a TikTok, a game, a song, and you half-watch while scrolling your phone. Or you watch and immediately critique it. Or you launch into a lecture about screen time or appropriate content. You think you're parenting, setting boundaries, teaching discernment. What just happened is they handed you a piece of their world and you rejected it. Columbia University's research on parent-teen connection found that shared interest in adolescent hobbies, even briefly, is one of the strongest predictors of relationship quality long-term. Not agreement. Interest. Your kid doesn't need you to love their music. They need you to be curious about why they love it. What do you like about this? Who got you into this? Can you explain how this works? When you dismiss what they care about, you dismiss them. Because at this age, identity and interest are fused. That game isn't just a game, it's a community. That song isn't just a song. It's a feeling they don't have words for yet. When you blow it off, you're telling them their inner world is trivial. So they stop inviting you in. The door closes. And 5 years from now, you'll wonder why they never talk to you. And it's because you taught them that what matters to them doesn't matter to you. Put your phone down. Watch the whole TikTok. Ask real questions. You don't have to get it. You just have to care that they care. Number 8, the fix you won't believe. Your kid isn't mourning because you're a terrible parent. They're mourning because you're human, and humans miss things. The parent they thought you were? That version existed in their head when they were little, and you were everything. Now they're older, they see more. And the distance between who they needed and who you actually are feels unbearable. But grief isn't the end. It's a doorway. On the other side of this mourning is a real relationship. One where they know you're flawed and love you anyway. Where you know they're complicated and show up anyway. You can't be the perfect parent they imagined, but you can be the real one they need. Apologize when you mess up. I shouldn't have compared you to your sister. That was wrong. I invaded your privacy, and I'm sorry. Name it. Own it. Don't defend it. Show them that repair is possible, that rupture doesn't mean death. And then do the thing that feels impossible. Let them be mad at you. Let them grieve. Don't rush them through it with explanations or justifications. Sit in the discomfort of being the disappointment. Because on the other side of that grief is something stronger. A kid who knows you're not perfect, but believes you're trying. A kid who calls you as an adult because you proved that connection matters more than being right. They're not ghosting you forever. They're just figuring out if you're safe. Show them you are.